What is good, boys? Today I'm going to be talking about the power of ritual and what nobody talks about with the whole idea of ritual. But first, I want to explain the future of the channel. So I know a lot of you like the vlogging style of content, and a lot of you would rather me go back to the chair, the microphone, real low dopamine relaxed content, even though this is pretty low dopamine right here. It's nothing crazy. I'm not doing crazy edits. But I decided to do sort of a mix. So what I'm going to be doing, obviously this video is going to be posted on a Saturday. So my Tuesday videos are going to end up being my vlogging videos. So my next two videos are going to be vlogs. And then the Saturday videos in the future are going to become my sit-down videos where I really talk and discuss topics in depth and break down the science behind it. These videos that are going to be posted on Tuesdays are going to include some of my workouts. They're going to include me going about my life. Maybe I'm going to show you some meals. And I'm also going to have some main topic that I'm discussing on these days, such as today, the power of ritual. So it really will still be an effort to try to go ahead and make these videos something that's going to improve your life. But the reason I'm switching more to this style is because I really struggled to be consistent earlier when I had a lot of things in my life, because sitting down, it's hard to make a commitment to doing all the research, sitting down, doing all that, and then still get your other stuff done on time or in the same manner. So I was kind of bouncing between the two. I was either really consistent with YouTube or really consistent with my life, and I didn't like that. So I figured, why not spread information while vlogging rather than just sitting down and dedicating a select period of time. Now, the reason I'm going to still be making my Saturday videos like that is because I have a lot of time on Fridays. So I am going to be dedicating time to that, and I mentioned earlier I want to talk about the study that Jeff Nippard is releasing, and then I am also going to talk about some information on how to make yourself less watery if you're going for higher testosterone, because the aromatization of estrogen or testosterone into estrogen and then other things start to make you feel more bloated and more watery when you have higher testosterone. But there are ways to combat that without being unhealthy, because first thing I hear when people want to combat that, they talk about, well, sodium. We want to drop our sodium intake, and then once that happens, then we could go ahead and hold less water. But the thing is, you're not going to be performing as well. It's a big deal to decrease your sodium intake. Most people don't get enough sodium, actually. I have a video on it. You could just search Jacob Rucker sodium. Damn, bro. But yeah, just search Jacob Rucker sodium, and you'll see that video on it. Get all the information on the intake you actually should have and why I think that, the studies I go into. But now I want to get on to the actual topic of the video. So I explained a second ago that this video is going to be on the power of ritual. A lot of people dedicate themselves to some sort of ritual, and they dedicate them to a huge thing. They say, I don't want to be stuck in school anymore. I don't want to work a 9-to-5 anymore. So I'm gonna make it a ritual working on my marketing agency. I'm gonna make this huge thing a ritual. And that's quite a big jump. I think more so when people talk about the ritual changing their life, the thing that's changing more is the little things. The little things are what you need ritual in. If you want to create a marketing agency, start off by creating ritual in reading books, consuming information, understanding finances, understanding advertisement, all those different things, and create the ritual of reading books. I've been reading books every single morning since 2 Christmases ago. That's when I committed myself to that, and I've learned so much that I couldn't have learned without this. And then there's a lot of other small things you could commit yourself to with ritual. So The big issue with committing yourself to these big rituals is it takes resources. You only have so many things you could do consistently throughout the day. And if I'm dedicating myself to a huge project or a huge ritual, then I'm not going to be doing the smaller things within it. I'm going to be doing the big picture. I'm going to miss all of the smaller things. And then I'm going to wonder why I'm not succeeding. It's like going to the gym. If you're going to the gym and you're just training super hard, you're trying to get the best training sessions ever, but you don't sleep, you don't eat well, you're jerking off all the time, you're just wasting your time. You're not going to actually make the gains you want inside of the gym if you're just wasting all that time instead of actually getting to the smaller nitty-gritty details. And now, obviously, doing things consistent is great and all, but some things that you want to also consider is that if you're actually improving, ritual is going to be practically impossible. If you're always improving, then there's always going to be new resources you need to commit and resources that aren't worth committing. For example, a lot of people talk about, oh, if you're in entrepreneurship and your time is worth $50 an hour, then people say, well, why would you spend an hour of your time when it's worth $50 an hour when you could go ahead and just order takeout? And well, the answer is, most of the time, that's not realistic. You're not going to be making $50 an hour at the start, and then eventually when you do, things are going to change. There's all these things that are changing actively to really prevent the bigger picture from becoming a ritual. Now, what can become a ritual is your ability to learn. Your ability to learn is always going to be something that needs to be improved on. You're not going to actually succeed if you don't have dedicated time to, well, learning what exactly you need to do for improvement versus what's causing your failure. So if you create your ritual in those, then it really allows you to start having a select period of time where you could work on the bigger picture and a select period of time where you're forced to work on the smaller picture. It allows you to stay consistent and not plateau or get ahead of yourself or stay consistent in life in general. Now, I'm gonna get to my classes. I have a test coming up right now and I'm gonna kill it, so I'll see you guys after. I just got out of class, boys, and now I'm gonna get into the next point on ritual. So, you don't wanna blindly define what rituals you want to be doing in your life. What I'm doing isn't necessarily what you should be doing, but I do think there's a certain approach you should take in choosing what rituals you do, because they are so time consuming and they do end up being a big part of your life when you're doing them, and you do build a lot of momentum, so see success in that category. So I recommend you find a struggle. If that's learning, you struggle to really educate yourself to a further degree that most people don't know, you kind of just like getting the baseline, then something like reading may be a good choice for you. If you struggle to put your body out of homeostasis, if you don't like getting out of bed, if you really struggle to grind hard, all of that, then maybe a cold shower. Get your body out of homeostasis every single morning, and it's going to build momentum, and you're going to get used to that. So I recommend you just figure out what exactly is the current issue in your life, break down what's the general concept it has to do with, and then you could stray a little bit away. If I really struggle to go to the gym and work hard and keep going when I'm out of breath, if I'm trying to do cardio, then what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna right away identify the fact, okay, how am I gonna solve this? I'm gonna solve this by pushing it through, doing cardio more often, and I'm gonna get in better shape. That's just not realistic. Now, what you can do is become more comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable and find ways to put your body in an uncomfortable state or a state you don't like. That is much more realistic, and that is actually going to build momentum for your future. Another example I have for you guys is, say you're struggling with confidence. Now, if you're struggling with confidence, then you could go about that a few ways. There's a lot of ways you could put your body in a state where you're a little nervous. But an example is, say you struggle with confidence, you really don't want to assert yourself in conversations, you don't like expressing your opinion, then cold approach one woman a day. You're gonna have to learn what words to say, and you're gonna learn how you have to exert yourself to come off presentable. It's pretty simple. You just find something that's not the direct topic, and then you branch from there. I'm gonna go ahead and get in my car, and then I will catch you guys when I get home. For dinner, we are making some ground beef with an onion in it. We're gonna weigh out the ground beef. Obviously, for calorie tracking, we got some cilantro, got the tacos with some pepper jack, and then some lime juice to squeeze on, and then some jalapenos. I'm gonna smash this dinner real quick because I am starving, and then I will finish up the video. That was freaking delicious. Now, I want to finish off this video by telling you to go ahead and think about what rituals you're doing that are actually bad rituals. What do you do consistently out of habit that actually harms your life? And rather than just trying to remove those, I want you to try to make those inconsistent. So, let's say you go to bed gaming every single night, then go ahead and try to game every few nights. Make it inconsistent. And once it's inconsistent, it's way easier to just wipe off of the board, no longer worry about it. But at first, it's going to be pretty difficult to just completely ignore something. That's a lot of times why people relapse. So go ahead, find your bad habits or your bad rituals, and go ahead and wipe them off the board. That is all I have for you guys today. Subscribe, join my email list, and as always, remember, Perspicacity is our grindstone for success. Keep on grinding.